Well, good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Happy April 2nd. Really quickly, a couple of announcements before we let Tulin take over and give us a great call today. So, we actually finished our first month of this Push to Diamond group. We've had a lot of success, a lot of amazing rank advancements. So, congratulations to everybody that has advanced their business forward. Just to give you a little update in case you missed the little post I made last night. I know it was a holiday, so people were not on social media, but you have until this Thursday, just because the week was kind of wonky the way the end of the month was, we're going to give you until this Thursday. So when you wake up this Thursday, if you advanced in rank and you were in the group in the month of March, you'll qualify for that pot, all right? And then I put the date in there. So our 6-week qualification will start, and then I put the payout date in that post. So you can check that out and see all of that listed there. The other thing, hold on, somebody's not muted. Okay, there we go. All right, so the other thing too is if you're just coming into the group, Megan Blinka is going to assume responsibility for organizing everybody that's coming in for this month. So read her post. We have a new spreadsheet. Make sure you update your name on that spreadsheet. If you want to be a part of that pot and you want to get, the April pot, you got to pay that $20 to Megan. That will all go into a pot and be equally split between anybody that regains their diamond, advances to diamond, or star diamond. All right, so that's how that one works. Again, same sort of 6-week qualification period as well. All right, the other last announcement is we're going to change out the calendar that's at the top with the daily posts. So just kind of look for that by the end of the day today. I'll go in and update that and get a new spreadsheet for our tracking system too. And then anybody that's new, guys, we're excited to have you guys here. This group worked awesome last month. We're trying not to overload you with too much content, but give you just enough to help you sort of think outside of the box and give you some new strategies for how to grow your business. And there's no right or wrong way to grow your Beachbody business. And that's why we've asked different speakers in the company to kind of give their sort of spin on it, because we want you to know it's not a one size fits all and you don't have to fit into a certain box to build an incredible business. And so we want you to see these different ways. And the one thing that I want to give you a piece of advice so that you don't get overwhelmed, because anytime you do a lot of training, it's easy to say, every single week, I'm just going to switch everything I'm doing. And, okay, the way Tulin's teaching me is the only way I can be successful, or the way that Ashley's teaching me is the only way. And so we have this constant start and stop, and we kind of get in our own heads and we begin to compare. One of the things I do is I like to listen, and then I take a step back and I go, what is Tulin doing that I really like that could enhance what I'm already doing? And so I may take a piece of that, and then I may put that into my business and say, oh, this is going to make my challenge groups better, or, oh, this is a great way to invite. And so I don't just scrap everything that I'm doing, but I sort of just pick and choose, and then I implement. So that's the way I want you to look at these calls and this training as we're going through, is how can I enhance the business that I already am building and sort of raise the bar for myself. Last thing is I asked you to 10x your business this month. So taking your goal, if you said I'm going to recruit 2 coaches or I'm going to hit Success Club 10 for the month, I want you to make that your weekly goal. So I'm going to challenge you to say, all right, sense of urgency, put a little fire in your butt. You're in a Push to Diamond group. So your goal is to be diamond by the end of this. So let's take that monthly goal, make it your weekly goal, really set your priorities in check and devote that quality time to building your business. And I just want to see you fly. We all do. All the leaders here want you to just grow. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Jenna, and then we'll get Tulin rolling.
Okay. So I'm super excited for this. So Tulin is a 2017 elite coach. And I know from background, because Kaylee and you were, speaking back and forth, and she was great at building her business with building coaches and building a team. And I know that's something you were like, I can hit Success Club 100 and so on, but how are you building this team? So, today I really want to know how you went to, from struggling to growing your business and growing a team of amazing coaches and becoming an elite coach. But what you do behind the scenes that could be different from what other coaches do with building their business, whether it's sneak peeks or how you're posting on social media, or how you're having conversations with potential coaches and turning your challengers into coaches. So those are some of the things I would love to hear you talk about, and how you kind of switch gears and, built your team. So I'm gonna let you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. And I want to know, why can't I see faces? Y'all need to turn on your video, because I want to see who I'm talking to. So if you have your video off for any reason, pop it on. Don't be shy. If you're an introvert, I think we all are, probably. I don't know. I know I am. I get it. They're all shy. That's so funny. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Pop on your video if you get a sec. Hi, guys. I really like to get an idea of who I'm talking to. And really, honestly, when we're in the coaching business, it's all about showing ourselves as we are in that moment, right? So I will be honest, it is 7 a.m. over here. So I rolled out of bed. I threw some eyeballs on and went to throw the sweatshirt on. And I was like, I'm good. Let's go. So I think there's a lot of times that I go on and I don't have my eyeballs on. So there you go, you guys. So that's the number one part about this business. Thank you for doing that. Is to really be willing to kind of just put yourself out there in where you are. And I mean where you are as in where you are today, where you are in your comfort level, and just be you. And I think that's what I'm really, known for, is just being just me. And let me give you an idea of kind of where that came from and how that plays into building my business. And I keep trying to turn off my dings because, of course, I'm already getting all the calls this morning. One of the things that I loved about coming into this business and where I really struggled is I lived a life where my own personal definition of myself was directly proportional, I guess the way to say it, on other people's opinion of us. So how many of you guys saw our Broken Homeless story? Did you guys see the video, the Team Beachbody? Okay. So when I was coming into Beachbody, I was your worst no. Anybody have really bad nose? I call them atomic nose. They're poof. And I literally will go back to that person on video because I use Bomb Bomb a lot. If you don't know what Bomb Bomb is an app I use or a service I use, $49 a month. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I like to eyeball the eyeball. I just ask you guys to pop on your videos. Let's see what's going on. And so when I came into this, I was a hardcore no. I was anti-Shakeology. I was anti-happiness. I was the unsupportive spouse. I was all those things that we run across on a daily basis. So when I get an atomic no, I send them back a Bomb Bomb video. Is literally what I do. And I said, girl, I see you. I said, I want to thank you for being so nice about it because I wasn't nice about it. I understand where you're coming from. And here's what I want you to know. I would love for you to get to know me on social media. And if at any point you decide to come back and say, you know what, I really want to work with you, I'm here for you because I get it. And I kind of think it's like karma, right? I went through it. My husband's behind me. He's over there sitting in the little chair. And he will tell you 9 out of 10 of those come back with an apology. And it's an apology. I'm not looking for an apology. It is an understanding of I see you. I see the me in you. All right. And so I never take it personally. Are there times I do? Oh my gosh, there totally are. And you can tell I'm kind of in that mode because, how do I say this? I start getting testy. I all of a sudden start getting testy. And when I start getting testy and I can kind of feel it in the way that I'm typing or in the Bomb Bomb video, I'm like, okay, it's just time for me to stop right now because I'm starting to take it a little personally, right? And there's no reason to take it personally, but I'm a human, being human. It's going to happen. So I have a tremendous amount of self-awareness that I'm falling into that mode. So here's all the stuff that we went through. Here's, all the stuff that we came through. And when I came into coaching, of course I had no intention of coaching and I had no intention of holding Success Club points. And I had no intention of talking to people about coaching. I think I just said that. And this whole idea of diamond, what rank? What does rank matter anyways, right? I kind of had that mentality. And so I really look at those as a bunch of negative mindsets. And little by little, they started to evolve. So I think for every coach in this business, I think from a brand new coach all the way up to Melanie, that there's an evolution of a coach, and I don't think it ever stops. I think she just said that. She takes little bits and pieces and says, okay, what little bit is she saying? What little bit is, that she can maybe incorporate into or learn from or expand on, but she never overhauls her business. And I think that's really key. There's points, I think, that in your business that you have to reevaluate kind of your systems and what you're doing. I just went through that recently, but I always try to stay away from overhauling and getting into the busy. So when I come into this and I evolve in a coach and I started doing this, eventually I did start talking to people about challenge packs. Eventually I was talking to people about Shakeology, right? Because it was making a difference for me. And I remember one day, my coach is Jimmy Hayes Nelson. And I remember one day he said, I'm going to recruit 100 coaches between now and the end of the year. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that too. And then that was it. I blew past him. I just kept blowing past him. And I will tell you, it has, if you probably look at the ratio of coaches I bring in compared to the ratio of coaches that hit diamond, I think I have a bigger ratio, right? I think that's the way to say. I have a lot of people that come in very much as challengers. They're coming from a particular place. It's taking me some more time with them, and I'm okay with that because I'm abundantly patient with them because I love on them. But if you look at the number of people I bring in versus the number of people who turn into successful coaches, my ratio is bigger, meaning a lot more challengers to actively working diamond coaches. Like a lot more. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to keep getting better at that as well. But that was kind of like my evolution of coach. So the thing that I had to do was start showing up, turning on the video, being comfortable in the video, talking to people about the Beachbody business, taking that nugget, these little nuggets, and, you know, realizing like, wow, it's kind of silly for me to only sell them a program. Why would I give them half the tools with their expectation to get all the results that I've gotten, right? That doesn't make sense. And if I'm all about saving money, wouldn't it make sense to give them, like this whole challenge pack right now, we have all access to 3-day refresh is ridiculous. It is underpriced for what we get. There are not enough commas and zeros to put the value on what we're giving them. Okay. But we get hung up on those financial numbers. And believe me, I came from that space too. Okay. But when you come from value and where you are in your personal journey. So let me let you in on a secret. I've been up and down on this journey for the past 5 years so many times. I've been up, I've been down. I've been up, I've been down. I lived my life coming into this business having been an anorexic. I know it's tough to believe, but really I was an anorexic. I got into binge eating. I've always really appreciated. I'm like, gosh, I want to be that girl. I want to be that girl who can hold up a wine glass and be like, oh, really rough day pouring the wine and look all elegant and cute doing it. Well, I'm very clumsy and I just don't look cute and elegant in doing it. And my wine was 3 Haagen-Dazs bars and an extra large pizza and a 2-liter Coke. And none of that fit sexy into a wine glass. Okay. So that was my way of dealing with stress. That's how I dealt with it. I never really learned to eat well. I grew up with a very negative body image, distorted body image. And I remember when I was younger, I had an opportunity to work with some of the top agencies. My mom would never let me become a model, which I always thought was weird because she loved the fact we wore the same clothes, you guys. I was 5'7", she was 5'2". She was so excited about a 19-inch waist, and all I did was starving myself. Like people turned a blind eye to me doing this, okay? Not because they didn't love me, but just because, fat was bad. Now, having fat in your body is not a good idea, but the reality is that my body is a bit slow. And when I can gain it fast. And when I can lose, I lose it fast. But the thing that I keep doing is I show up all the time. And I'm very, very honest with people about my journey. The moments that I binge are far and few between. I just run slow. That's it. I run slow. And I have that conversation with people, but here's the deal. I can stand next to Becky Brosette, open up my shirt with my my version of 80-day obsession abs. We can stand there in a little power pose with Becky Brosette. And here's the thing. I feel absolutely no different than her. You know why? Because we're not different. I don't feel any different than Melanie Mitra. Why? Because we aren't any different. Her business doesn't, what she's done in her business doesn't reflect in my business. What Becky's abs have done doesn't reflect on my abs. We are all women or men on a journey to fit, and we all have powerful journeys and stories. That's what this is about. It's about the brutal honesty. And people say, and people come to me and say, well, I can't share myself because I'm still fat. I'm like, do you not see that I still have fat on my body? And I know there's a comfort level in talking to me about that. And I'm like, but we all have fat in our body. Yeah, but those skinny, I'm like, no. This is where the divide happens, and this is where the problem, where the business happens, is we're too busy thinking that we have to be something other than we are on a journey. The only thing that we have to be doing is constantly growing in our fitness, constantly growing in nutrition, constantly growing at losing the weight between your ears. That's a big thing for me, is losing the weight between your ears before anything else happens. And to do that while you journey and help other people to come along with you, to journey with you at that time, not because you have all the answers. I'm going to guarantee you, Melanie doesn't have all the answers. I'm pretty certain she doesn't. You know, she's still learning. She's still growing. That is what this is. So one of the things that I really, really focus on in this business is I don't focus on our differences, and I focus on our similarities. That's what I do. I don't focus on our differences. I focus on our similarities. I don't stay in the comparison game. I don't not go in the comparison game because that is a trigger for me anymore. It used to be, but thank you for personal development. It's much less so now. It's just not where I live anymore. I really put blinders on and I focus on my business, and I'll take nuggets. Okay. So I remember when I went to the New Leader Conference and Melanie was speaking, and she talked about time management. And there was another bit that she did. It must have been really profound because I can't remember what it is, but I share it all the time. But there's 2 bits of information she shared that I kept going back to. I took those nuggets because there was a missing piece to my puzzle that I was struggling with, and somebody had an answer in a system that I could plug into. And so I plugged into it and I made it my own. Okay. So how do I get challengers to working coaches? So this is still a work in progress for me. I am still learning how to do this. We are all still learning how to do this better. But here is where I come from, and here is where I'm okay with. But I'm always looking I want to go from good to great. So one of the things that I do is that we're a fitness business. It's the weirdest thing. I focus on fitness. That's it. That's what I do. I focus on fitness. My main love and focus, people say, oh, that's why she's successful, because she's helping out those plus size women. That's why. Listen, if that were the secret to my success in this business, then like somebody needs to tell people in the health and fitness industry, because that's people you need to target and it's telling you to talk to. Like, that's not what it is. It's who I am in this moment and who I'm speaking to on the journey. Now, do I only just help plus size women? No, I help trainers. I help business people. I help a lot of different people. They don't have to be plus size and they don't have to be a woman, but that is something that my heart is really, that fills my heart. That is important to me. That is a cause for me. That is yes, from a marketing perspective, it is a niche, but it is my heart. Like, when I start talking about her, I start to cry. Okay. She matters to me. Why does she matter to me? Because she has been fighting against 2 different industries, the plus size industry and the health and fitness industry. And Beachbody came along and said, I see you. Look at how Beachbody's evolved just in the past 5 years. I see you. I respect you. I honor you. We hear you. You're here with us. And that wasn't not necessarily the case 5 years ago, but definitely not as dominant as it is now. They were willing to go and start having that conversation and be respectful of all bodies on the journey. So when I go and I speak to people, my whole purpose is to help plus size women start and re-engage in fitness. That's where I start. I want her to start taking pictures of their kids and stop being the photographer. I want her to be able to get up and down off the floor and play with their kids and not worry about it. I want her to throw her head back and move her body and laugh. I want her to have 2 left feet and not worry about it. I want her just to enjoy I want her to enjoy her being and begin to love herself starting day one. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, that has 0 to do with being plus size, because I'm pretty certain those are human traits that we would all love to have. Okay. So I speak directly to her because I am her, and I want her to know that she matters, that she's powerful, that she's impactful, and that her story is so important, because somebody out there is desperately waiting for her exactly where she is right now to know that she can too, before a pound is lost, before an inch is lost, before anything. Day one is huge for me. It's huge. Do you know, again, not just about plus size women, but how many guys waited days, weeks, months, hours to go back to day one, to start? Like, how many of us are so fearful? How fearful we are to walk back in. Maybe it was because we used to be super, super fit and now we're not. There's so many different reasons. And so where I meet them is at fitness. I meet them, as funny as it sounds, at weight loss. And the whole reason why I meet them at weight loss, people, oh, she's all about weight loss. I'm like, girl, you are not paying attention. I am not all about weight loss. When you lose the weight between your ears, there's a weird little side effect that happens. Your body begins to change. I don't know why that is. Of course I know why that is. We should all know what that is. What holds us back from our goals or what's going on between the ears. I am still 85 pounds down from my heaviest weight. I am still 7 sizes down from my largest size. I was somewhere between 350 and 400 pounds. Our guesstimate was about 375 because the scale didn't go any higher than 350. I've never gained that back, ever. Because I think so much of that weight was attached to whatever was going between my ears. And I'm proud of that. But I don't connect with people. I connect people originally with weight loss. But then I show them the weight on your body isn't the problem. Let's work on what you think. Let's work on how you want to feel. Let's change that. And so with me, when they have a conversation, because we can relate with each other, so whatever your, I hate to say target market, but isn't that what it is, right? Whatever your heart market is, how can you connect with them? Because when you connect with them and you talk to them, they're going to talk to you about more of the heart-centered things that are important to them, not the things that they think is obvious to you. For example, I'll use a plus-size woman again. If she goes to talk to a personal trainer, if you ask her what her goals, the first thing she's going to say is how much weight she wants to lose. Because she thinks in that conversation that that's the elephant in the room that she has to talk about. It's not. If you really dig deeper with her, it's about her kids. It's about being intimate with her husband again. It's about it's about that job she's always wanted to do. It's about, being able to paint her own toenails. It's about a lot of other things than just weight loss. When she comes and talks to me, so whatever your thing is, and when you connect with people from whatever your heart is, she's going to talk to you on a much, or he or she's going to talk to you on a deeper level. She's going to get away from the surface stuff, and she's going to tell you really what she wants. And what she wants is something that she wants to feel. And if I can't get her to tell me what she wants to feel in that initial conversation, I ask her, how do you want to feel? What do you want to feel like? And she'll tell you. She'll tell you. So that's where I work from. So how do I get people to working coaches? I meet them at the fitness. And then what I do is I don't talk to them about a different eating plan. I introduce them to Shakeology. Because we walk through life so much about depriving ourselves, even in building our business, we think that's about, yes, do you sacrifice yourself to a degree? Of course. If you're serious about building your business, that's going to be a part of your focus. That's going to be one of your main focuses, right? You got to put your time in it. You can't hobby and expect to, grow an enormous business. Like, it takes time. So the next thing I do is I introduce her to dense nutrition, and I just get her to start adding the dense nutrition in, and I say nothing about the contents. I say nothing about what I think she's going to feel. I do not sell her on Shakeology. I let her sell herself off of her experiences. And so I'm constantly talking. They have to share non-scale victories. We're called Team NSV, so Team Non-Scale Victory. I'm always having her share non-scale victories. The other thing that I do, this really helps, and this goes back to the whole coaching thing. In my coaching group, I have one large group, and I have different types of coaching. So my first coaching group is called Move Your Body, Beach Body. I laugh because my team's like, aren't you called? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so my first group is called Move Your Body. And in that group, the only intention for them is just to move their body and drink their Shakeology and enjoy movement and freedom in their body. That's it. The next group is deeper coaching. I just call it plus size fitness group because I couldn't think of a snazzier name. That's going to have to change because I don't just have plus size people anymore. They're not plus size anymore. And then the next one is nutritionally based. So what happens is when they're in the bigger group, the new Fit Sisters that come in see what the veteran Fit Sisters are up to, and all of a sudden they're reading their 30-day letter to themselves after Move Your Body. Now they get to see what's possible. I'm so big on seeing what's possible in my business and in my fitness. And there's actually, to me, not a difference between the two. I don't separate them anymore. And as a matter of fact, I went into my team and I said, I'm not separating this conversation anymore. If you don't want to listen to the business side, then ignore that side. But this can't be separated anymore. This is one conversation. It's fitness and finance, and that's it. Because the more secure you are in your finance, it's really interesting. I find the better my results get in my fitness. Because financial freedom to any degree, whether it's being able to pay for your Shakeology or, do some part-time hustle or go full-time, it offers you a stress release because so many of us are stressing over finances. And those checks to me are filled with thank yous. Those are people. Those are people. So by doing that in my group and getting them to see each other and see what's possible, I get them already participating in everything that it takes to be a coach. Everything. From drinking the Shakeology to pushing play to coaching each other, because the group is not about my voice. And I make that abundantly clear. It's not about me. It's about you guys having this positive, uplifting, nurturing environment that has no Debbie Downers and no negative Nancys. It is not allowed in my group. You must find something positive in your day. And every once in a while I'll get that I am from someone who say, I don't have anything good to share today, so I'm not going to post. And they send you the dumpy post. They dump on you. I'm like, hey, did you wake up today? Well, yeah. Did you take a breath? Well, yeah. Well, Madeline just lost her sister-in-law last night, and she didn't. So maybe you can celebrate that today. Like, oh, snap. I didn't think about that. See what I'm saying? So it's being able to help them overcome their the things that are going to hold them back through fitness, through the Shakeology, being able to see what's possible, helping someone in the journey. They could be on day 3 in the group, and they, because of the culture of the group, they're willing to turn around to somebody who's coming in brand new and be able to help them on their journey on day 3. And that's what coaching is, because they're helping them based off of where they are at that moment in their journey. When I started to create that culture, so much changed. So much changed in my business. People began to understand, like, hey, I might be interested in this coaching thing. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. So here's the deal. So I do sign a lot of discount coaches. And I know there's a lot of different philosophies on that. I personally do. And here's my only reason I do this. And there's no right or wrong way of doing this. If Jimmy didn't tell me that all the aspects of the business, because I told him, don't tell me about his weight loss group. Don't tell me about your accountability group. Don't tell me about the business. And don't tell me about it. I'm not interested. But Jimmy still told me. He still found a way to told me. It's this little bug in the back of my ear. And I'm like, well, if there was something to this. So he still found a way to still respectfully, but there was somehow a way that he was still able to tell me about these things. So when I can bring people into this, and it's I steal this from Milan Jensen, if I can turn them into raving fans, if I can turn them into loving what they do and feeling amazing in it, aren't you naturally going to begin to start talking about the business? You are, because you feel comfortable in it and you feel natural in it. And because I help empower them right where they are in that moment, they learn to turn off the negative Nancys that are out there. Because one of the first things that I teach them on the fitness side, which is no different than the business side, is the opinions of others are none of your business. And not to worry about the person who has something negative about you, but only focus on the person that would walk away and say, why didn't you tell me about this? If you have one person who's willing to support you or listen or be inspired by you or just to be in your corner, that's the only person you're talking to. I am not in the business of talking into, convincing, any of that. Debating, this is what I do, that's what you do. If that's a better way for you, this product's better for you, that, girl, you go do your thing. Go do your thing. But this is how I'm going to do it. And if you're going to spend the time telling me how I should be doing things differently, chances are they should be following that track anyways. They're talking too much and they're doing too little. So I teach them that from the beginning, right? So basically, I teach them how to overcome objections in the group with each other in their everyday life. Did it take me longer to get my ladies to where I wanted them to go? Yeah, a lot longer. It was a risk. It was definitely a risk, but it didn't feel bad because it was also my heart, because I deeply care about this woman. So now suddenly I have a bunch of people who are like, I'm really interested in this coaching thing. I'm really interested in what it is that we're doing. Could you tell me more about it? Yes, absolutely. Let's go there. And I start walking them through the process. And the entire process in the business, the way I talk to them about it, is absolutely no different than what we did in the fitness. It's not. And so from there, they're beginning to grow their businesses. And here's what I'm learning. I would love, for the amount of people that I bring into the business, and I've actually reduced that a little bit because I'm testing some stuff out. As much as I want everybody to hit diamond and star diamond and grow to that, the reality is the people who are going to do that and people who are willing to do the work. And that's who you guys are, right? You guys are the guys who are willing to do the work. And here's the reality, and this is the way I see it. I deeply respect this woman, and I deeply respect rank. I don't chase empty ranks, but I deeply respect it, and here's why. We are a community, and we are a sisterhood or a brotherhood, or however you want to say it. In my case, I work with mostly women, so we are a sisterhood. And what I do greatly impacts the other people in my group. And what they do greatly impacts the rest of the people in this group. And the reason why I respect rank, because when I didn't have much to give back to this coach that handed me this $140 box at the time, I actually never tell the story, but I'll tell it to you guys. I never tell the story because I never want people to think they do that. I don't know if you noticed, I still don't have a wedding ring to this day. I had a beautiful handmade wedding ring that my husband made for me. It had 3 diamonds on it. We sold the 2 trillion cuts, we sold the main diamond in the middle, kept the 2 trillions in the, the setting. And over time, as we got poorer and poorer and poorer, there was no reason holding on to what we knew we loved each other. And that would feed my kids. And so I remember when I finally agreed to get the Shakeology, we had just sold my setting. So now it's like done, it's gone. We had just sold the setting. And I think we paid for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks in the hotel room. And we had some money, bought some food for the kids and for the family. And we had some money left. And I said, well, how many servings are in a bag of Shakeology? He says 30. I said, fine, we're going to get 2 and we're going to starve. And it was quite the opposite. It was quite our grocery bill changed. My kids started drinking it. We should be giving this to the broken homeless because it's the most nourishing drink that they'll ever have. Right. So anyway, I talk about these things with ladies. I don't know why I told you that. I totally squirreled. There was a reason it was very impactful, and I'll come back to it eventually. But anyways, next topic. So where was I going with that? It was really good. It was impactful. I think I was just telling you that I used my wedding ring to actually buy my bag of Shakeology. Listen, if you really want to do it, you find a way to do it. I'm not recommending that you sell your wedding ring. I'm just telling you that's what we did. I fully expected to return it in 30 days. That was it. I was going to return it. We were going to use it. We're going to return it in 30 days. And so you know what else I do? I tell everybody about 30-day money back guarantee. I tell them everything. I tell them everything. I tell them about the coaching. I tell them about the discount. I tell them about 30 money back guarantee a lot. I tell them everything. I know where I was going because I would be mad if somebody didn't tell me all those bits and pieces. And it's important that we tell people from the beginning, I think, because again, that helps instill what's possible for the future as well for them. They're all little nuggets. They're all little clues that you're leaving in them that when they finally come out and they say, I'm ready to do this. I'm really ready to do this. That they've already been doing it all freaking along. And they're like, are you kidding me? This is it? Yes, this is it. However, and I'm very honest with them. And again, going back to the evolution of the coach, when I started off in my fitness journey I started off with insanity. I couldn't even walk up the steps to my house, my apartment. Okay. And it was like this little rundown. It's a whole other story. Couldn't even walk up to the steps to my house. My husband had gotten insanity at a garage sale. I popped that in. I was about 375 pounds. They jumped. I swayed. I could do 2 or 3 minutes of the workout. If I 5 years later was still doing insanity, swaying side to side and swaying side to side when they jumped and doing 2 to 3 minutes of my workout, would I be where I am in my business today? Would I be where I'd be in my fitness today? It's exactly the same thing. So all those things that I'm teaching in the group are kind of the basics, right? But depending on where you want to take your business next, that's when the conversation begins to change. I want to see what Melanie said. Yes, I have so much passion. And I do. It really is about the confidence. Some people say, well, I don't have the confidence you have. I don't either. I work at it every single day. Because I think that we grow up in a culture that's taught us that being able to say out loud, well, I don't have confidence and I don't like myself and I feel fat and gross and, oh no, I can't possibly, like we grew up in this place where people think that we have to shrink ourselves. I refuse to shrink. I mean, I'll shrink this is shrinking, but I personally refuse to shrink. I personally refuse to go stand in the back row. I'll go work out in the front row with all the super fit people because guess what? I'm super fit too. I'm just take up a little more space. That's just it. I just don't see a difference. And so with the confidence that it comes from, how did I want to feel? I grew up my entire life lacking confidence. I grew up my entire life, get emotional, lacking self-worth, and I wasn't good enough. And I tried to be a petite blonde my entire life. I finally went blonde about 2 months ago and I went back to brown. I'm like, it's just not who I am. It was fun for a minute. but it's not who I am. So who am I? Who do I want to be? The more me I can be, the more free I am. I'm free. I'm free of the opinions of other people. I'm free of the person who says no. I'm free of all those things. I'm free to connect with people who want to grow this business. I'm free to connect people who just want to work on their fitness. I'm okay with that too. And they know that. And they know that. You guys, that's how I grew my business. Now, right now, I'm coming out of, in November of last year, end of November last year, we were finally had this opportunity to move. We lived in the same apartment, rebuilding our lives from a broken homeless days. I think we moved from the apartment we lived in, which had like mice and stuff, into a better building. But we stayed there and rebuilt our lives from nothing. I mean, nothing. And we finally moved in this place at the end of November of last year. And I love it. It's a really cute house. It's got a garage, has a backyard. My kids get the grass between their toes. It means the world to us. I moved in here and I lost my flipping mind. I went, what have I done? We're going to be homeless again. You need to work harder. You need to this. And it was like, because I told you, I work at it every day with personal development. I intentionally opened up the door to everything I've ever worked against, everything I learned to overcome. And I opened it up and I had the most tremendous depression and anxiety ever hit me, slammed into me that I hadn't experienced in years. Doubt, fear, inadequacy, lack of confidence, everything. The next thing I know, I woke up and I looked at my husband and my whole face is completely drooping. And I look at him and I said, did I just have a stroke? And off to the hospital we went. I had shingles on my face. And the shingles on my face and the medication, everything I went through, I ended up pretty much going blind for a month. And I say pretty much going blind because my husband is actually blind in one eye and did actually go completely blind at one point. But what was interesting, I was going through this process. I couldn't be in the light. I couldn't have any sound. I couldn't listen to personal development. I couldn't watch anything. All I could do was think in my thoughts, which is kind of a scary place to be when you're dealing with depression and anxiety, right? But that's where I fought. And I fought this. And so I had to sit in the dark, and sitting in the dark allowed me to see the light. Seeds sprout in the dark. And the universe slowed my roll. But I opened up this door because it was an old, comfortable place for me to be in all this depression and anxiety. And I had to come back from it. I did not work my business for about 2.5 months, Kareem.
3 months.
He says 3 months, about 3 months. I had to come back and get my gears rolling again. I had to come back and get everything moving again. I was on medication. I gained 20 pounds in 1 week. I looked more than 9 months pregnant, 20 pounds in 1 week from the steroids. The shingles took a long time to recover from. I came back to my business and I went, what happened? And I really had to start again and get the gears going. And I'm saying this to you for a couple of reasons. One, that hurts. It takes a lot more effort to get your gears going than just keep putting effort in and keep them moving. So for anybody who comes into the business and like, oh, I got my 5 or 10 SC points, I'm going to stop now because I'm afraid there's nobody else at the end of the month, or I'm not going to work my business anymore. I couldn't imagine doing that over and over and over again, month after month after month after month. And I used to do that. Everything that I went through, everything that just happened to me, even though I was so afraid of losing it all again, and of course, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because guess who's not working? Because I physically can't look at the computer. I can't be in any light. I'm a vampire at this point, okay? Guess who isn't working the business? I'm not. And when I'm not working the business isn't going to work. Now, my team was really, really amazing. What happened at the very end of the year, I had all the points in the world that I needed. I had everything I needed to be elite. I fell out of elite in the last 10 days of the year. Lost it. Does that define me? Oh, flippin' no, it doesn't. You know why? Because I know what I accomplished. But do I respect elite? 1,000%. Elite ranks. When we do those things, we are showing what's possible in this business. I sat up in the nosebleed in Las Vegas and watched Melanie Mitro and a bunch of other people walk across the stage. They looked like little tiny ants walking across the stage and said, I'm going to be down there. And I got there. I hit it. I finally hit elite, and I'm going to do it again. So here's the other thing that happens, you guys, in your business. Unfortunately, there's going to be loss in the family. Unfortunately, somebody could lose their job. Unfortunately, you could run into financial hardship. Unfortunately, you could go on some medications and gain some weight. Unfortunately, the only reason why it's going to hold you back is if you choose because it's a comfortable place to be and a convenient excuse to not move forward in your business. It is in those moments that you can grow the most. It's those moments that happen sometimes that make you have to say, I have to keep moving forward in my journey. Because I could have spiraled out of control in my business. I could have spiraled out of control in my health and fitness. I could have done all that. I got back on track. Why? Because I have learned through repetition and coaching and teaching others and holding other people accountable that I can hold myself accountable. And I just had to get the gears going. That was it. I just had to get them moving. It's going to happen in your business. The world isn't going to stop in your fitness journey. The world isn't going to stop in your business journey. But too many times, somebody will fall on a dime and they go, I suck. It's just not worth it anymore. No, it happens to the best of us. Gains happen in your fitness. This is part of you being a human, being human. The difference between you and the rest of the people who are in this group right now, is you're willing to get back up and get back to work. It's never easy. It's simple, and it's absolutely freaking worth it. This business is worth it. Getting to my rank is, I know why I was telling you this about, see, I told you to come back to me, the $140 challenge pack. I sold my ring to get the challenge pack, right? Not really. I bought other stuff. That was the byproduct. Don't tell anybody that story. Anyways, got the challenge pack. And then I looked at my coach, and I had nothing to give back to my coach, because here he was changing my life, not because he's on me every day, not because he's making sure I got my workouts done every day. Jimmy's not that kind of coach, right? But because he told me this. The greatest gift that I could give back to my coach for offering me this amazing experience was building a badass business and getting to the rank and holding it, because what I was able to do by doing my business and making a difference in my family's life, that made a difference in my coach's life, my personally sponsored coach, and that's what I was here for. I was able to give back to a man that gave so much to me by simply showing up in my business. And that's why rank and elite and those things matter, because when he sees me hit those things, or when I'm holding a strong diamond or star diamonds or whatever, blah, 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 wherever you are in your business, the bottom line is I'm giving back to my coach and my community with what I was able to give back to, because I didn't have the finances yet. I didn't have anything else, but I had the gift of my time, the gift of my ability to go back and serve my community, to get on calls like this, because Mel and all these other coaches, they were always pouring into me, and they had no idea they were. I was watching their video. I was watching them speak on stage. I was watching them show me what's possible. And when I can get to my rank and hold it from a place that matters in my heart, that I don't get to the point that I stop doing it because I hit SC5 or I hit SC10, because this matters to this. I think Carl calls it like a shared economy for some book he read. That's what this is. That's how you can solidify, because what I do in my business impacts other people in my business, and I get to make a difference in their lives. That's why these kinds of things matter to me. Anyways, I hope that helped. Is there anything I missed?
Sorry. No, it was awesome. It was really good. And honestly, mindset is just so key. You have all of the tools, people, like, to succeed. It's really the space between your own head that starts and stops you. And I love that you just shared the personal stories of things that really kind of stopped you dead in your tracks. And it's like, I got goosebumps when you were saying about the shingles part, because people get to this point where they start to have success and the wheel starts to go for them, and it just freaks them out, and they literally self-sabotage themselves and go into that downward spiral. And it's so hard to pull yourself back out of that. Like, you really have to have that, I don't know what the word is, that grit there, that self-discipline to be able to pull yourself back up. But it is like, it's so important. Everything else falls into place if you can sort of overcome those little roadblocks. And I'm sure that people are in that phase right now. So, okay. So if it's hard to kind of pull yourself out of that. So when you were kind of in those periods where you had to be silent, what things did you do? Like, do you do meditation? Are there certain books that you listen to? Like, what sort of jolts you out of that sort of mindset?
So one of the things, I couldn't listen because the shingles were on my face.
Okay.
And so the nerve was coming here. And so everything, like, I couldn't handle humming, sound, any birds, nothing. And so I couldn't listen to anything. So what I did was I began to realize I wanted to focus on, even all these things were going on. I kept waking up this house. I'm like, this house, and this just kept coming in my mouth because joy is a part of my vocabulary, but it's not one that I throw around often, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I kept waking up and like, even all the stuff going on, I still feel joy. Like I'm so happy to be here. And it wasn't happy. I feel joyful. Like this place brings me joy. This brings me joy. And I had to keep going back into the little things that brought me joy. And so I started really thinking, breathing became a big thing for me because I could do that. And I remember back in the day when I was kind of overcoming some other things, I realized that we always breathe so shallow. And when I was able to deep breathe, I was able to give myself a lot of mental and physical relief because I wasn't taking pain medicines. I chose not to. And then the thing that really kept coming up for me is, how do I want to feel? What do I want to feel every day in my business? What do I want to feel every day in my life? What do I want to feel? And I think that honestly, I was forced in the dark to make me reevaluate that, because I was going at such a speed and doing things because that's the way I've always done it. And because it forced me to stop, I was able to go back and focus on feeling. And it was weird because all of a sudden, like, people were coming to me and it was all about, how do you want to feel? So I was talking to Milan. Milan poured into me for like 2 hours on a call. And she's like, have you ever read the Desire Map? And I said, no, I had not. She's like, you really need to read the Desire Map. And so I started reading the Desire Map. I had gotten into Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits. And one of the things I scored low on, and this was back in, was it Summit when we had that leadership event there? Yeah, when he spoke, clarity. I'm like, he doesn't know I'm totally clear on what I want to do. Oh no, I really needed to clarify. I needed clarity. I wasn't as clear as I thought I was. And so those are the things that I turned to. It was interesting because Brendon Burchard's thing and the Desire Map kind of worked together for me. And so everything focused on how do I want to feel? And then I realized something, those moments I kept using this word joy over and over again. I mean, like Christmas, we'd sing the song, but that was about the extent of always using the word, right? And so I realized in something that Danielle Laporte said in the Desire Map, she said, happiness is fleeting, but you can find joy in even the darkest moments. And I went, the universe just put it in front of me. Like, if you pay attention, you guys, your answer is everywhere. It could be in a radio disc jockey, in a book that you open, in like somebody says something to you. Like when you open yourself up to where your struggle is and what it is you want to work on, all of a sudden the universe starts pouring into you and all the things that you need to start fixing what you need to fix. And so that's what happened. Is I started focusing on what I want to feel. And if it doesn't make me feel good, now there's balance in that. Okay. I mean, I don't like writing out my checks for my bills, but the reality is I got to pay my bills, right? I mean, there are some things that we got to do that don't necessarily make it fun, but can I tell you something? It fills me with joy to pay my taxes because I make an income to pay my taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there are ways to find joys and even in the darkest, most difficult moments.
Awesome. Okay, one last thing before we let you go. Will you give them a challenge? This is kind of putting you on the spot, but will you give everybody a challenge of something they can do to help them move their business forward from today?
Okay. What can you do? I'm going to tell you, I made you all turn on your camera. Are you guys really good at going online and just sharing where you are right now in this moment? Or do you have to go like fix yourself up before you go on camera? No, you guys are pretty good at getting it done. What kind of challenge can I give you? Because you guys are like diamonds and working towards diamond, right? Because you guys are the actual doers.
They are, but they're deathly afraid of going live and hosting their own sneak peeks and talking about the business, and they procrastinate, and they're afraid that they are not far enough along in this business to talk about it. That would be the number one thing. Would anybody dare to say, and you're welcome to, that she's not far enough along in her fitness to be successful in it as a plus size woman? Nobody could say that? Or nobody's got the guts to say that? Because you probably can't think that. But you think that you can't move forward in your business because you're not where you need to go. Or you're not where you need to be. That's you putting judgments on yourself. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. I'm going to challenge you to go live. Thank you for saying that. I do believe in live video. And I want you to talk from the direction of where your fear is and why it's difficult for you to share this and why you're doing it. And you're just going to get it over with. And you're going to talk about where your struggles are, but you're not going to dump. Please don't dump.
You're not going to get anybody to help if you Debbie Downer and dump. You've got to have something in place that's helped you. You've got to have something. Listen, this is what I struggle with. Like going live right now. I've been challenged to go live. This is really difficult. I'm in a health and fitness business. And sometimes I struggle thinking that how can I be an inspiration or motivation to anyone else when I haven't gotten to X amount of pounds or this or that? Talk about that. Now, if you get that one random person that comes on, decides to go, yeah, totally. I was like, what the hell are you doing in a health and fitness industry looking the way you're doing? You need just to block that person because that person probably needs to hit the gym anyways and send them some packets of Shakeology. Because if you're going to come on and say that, you're definitely missing dense nutrition in your body because people who drink dense nutrition are nice people. Do you ever notice that? Like we have all nice people at Summit, like everywhere. Like we hug each other because we're all working out and releasing all those endorphins. So I challenge you to go online and talk about it. Go online and talk about where you are right now. What's that doubt that you have and what you're doing to overcome it. What you're doing to work on it. It's the weirdest thing that happens. People identify with that and they'll go, oh, I struggle with that too. I hadn't thought about doing it that way. You know what? I think I'm going to check out that book too. I really like, wow, when you exercise, that really helps you get over that. Yeah. You'll be amazed at where you are and where you feel stuck in your journey. Let me give you a quick example. Somebody will say, oh, I'm not feeling really good. I'm going to use, weight. I'm not feeling really good on my body. I can't stand the fact that I'm a size 16. I hate the way I look. And I'm looking at you going, I can't wait to get to where you are as a size 28W woman. What you think isn't impactful or isn't enough is somebody else's dream and goal. Mm-hmm. We are put on this earth to be amazing. We are not put on this earth to be mediocre. There is nothing, not the struggles you're going through, not the way your body looks, not how old you are, any kind of that stuff. We have to learn to honor and respect who we are as humans on this earth. We've got one life. We've got one life, and we spend too much time living in fear. I have periods of time in my life that I don't remember because I lived in such a deep, dark depression, that I don't remember times in my son in his youth. I don't ever want to experience that again. I did not come on this earth and lead a mediocre life. Where you are in your struggle is a blessing. Mm-hmm. I tell people that a light shines from you and you can't dim it and you can't hide it and people will feel it and want to be around it. That's a natural byproduct of what it is that we do. Go share that struggle and then share what you're doing to overcome it and just watch what happens. You guys, you might say, I only had one person that watched and they watched on the replay. Gary Vee says one is better than none. You're only focused on that one person whose life could possibly change. Is that a good enough challenge? I think it is.
I think it's perfect.
Awesome.
All right, Jenna, do you want to close this out?
No, she wants to eat. She's like, I just took a big bite of my breakfast. Or is it lunch for you?
No, I don't do that. No, that was awesome. I have chills now. It just, when you were talking about how you couldn't hear anything or see anything, right? Because you were blind in one eye. I poked myself out in the eye right before Christmas, and I couldn't see and I couldn't open my eyes, and I just had to lay there with my thoughts. And I did the same exact thing, and it was it was scary, but it is joy. I appreciate my vision so much. Yep. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you getting on here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, you guys. Thanks for asking me to be on. That's cool.
I had a lot of takeaways, notes. So
thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, can I tell you something? I also noticed that Mel was taking notes while I was speaking.
Look, and I highlighted too. Look at all that.
And highlighted. Okay. So one, do you know how much that means to me? Number one, because you've poured into me for years. I'm going to get emotional. Number one. And number two, the top coach in this business for multiple years in a row is still finding inspiration and nuggets and things to be able. That's what moves your business forward.
Yep.
You don't get to the top and just stay there because she works at it every single freaking day, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it takes.
Yep.
That's what it takes. I love it. Anyways, you guys, love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Bye.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody.